Hello, I'm Woodrow Thompson. Welcome to Let's Talk. Today we have a great show for you. I have with me the lead pastor of Life Changers Church, where his wife, Colleen Howard, is also the executive pastor. And in 2015, they authored a book, 7 Love Keys to a Successful Marriage, Principles for a Lasting Relationship. My special guest today is none other than Bishop Shawn Howard. Welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you, Bishop Thompson.
It's so good to have you with us today. And I'm sorry that your wife, Colleen, couldn't be with us. I mean, for 2 men to be talking about a successful marriage, it would be good to have the other perspective.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm hoping we'll be able to invite you back and invite Colleen to be with us as we talk more. But one of the things I would like to do just before we jump into the book and talking more about the book is I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. I'm sure our viewers would like to know who Shawn Howard is, and share with us a little bit about your journey.
Well, my journey is quite interesting. I was born in Toronto, Canada, and grew up in a small community, Chithway and Black Creek, 25 Martha Eaton Way, and that
Really?
It was a journey indeed. I grew up in it was a well community, but it was surrounded with a lot of, violence and, drug dealers and stuff
Right.
like that. But it was a choice to which lifestyle you choose to live.
Right.
And as a young man, as most young men, we get caught up in the wrong lifestyle sometimes.
For sure, yes.
And at a very young age, I just found that I wasn't like the rest of the men
Right.
that were in the community. I always had a longing, a desire to serve God in some capacity, some way. My mother was a God-fearing woman and
Right,
still is to this
right.
day.
Good.
And because of her, introduction to Christ, I myself became a believer and started going to church at a young age. I gave
Right.
my life to the Lord at around 13 years old, and I've been serving him ever since.
That's wonderful, at 13.
At 13 years old.
So what were some of the challenges from age 13 onwards as you
Wow. 13 onwards, I did a little backstepping.
I understand.
Backsliding. I got involved in some, gang activity.
Right.
Buying and selling of guns. Never really got into the
Not
drugs.
you. Really?
Yes, sir. Buying and selling of guns, and it's only after watching one of my friends, being murdered
Wow.
by gun violence. I really it was a really life-changing experience for
Right.
me, and I knew I had to really change my life around. And from that day on, I decided to follow Christ
Right.
and really change my life. But I often tell a story that I was coming home on the bus one day from work.
Right.
And as I was about to come off the bus, a group of my friends jumped on the bus and they were like, "Hey, we're going to this club. We're going to a club. Would you want to come?" And I was like, "Nah, not interested.
Right.
Not coming. I can't come." And as I was walking off the bus, one of my friends, quote unquote so-called friends,
Right.
said to me, "Oh, remember that girl you used to talk to?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I'm with her now." And back in the days, those were like funny words.
Of course.
You know how it is. But when I came off the bus and I was walking in the cold, that's when it really hit me, and I realized, wow, I'm saved. I'm a Christian. It didn't bother me. It didn't faze me at all. And that's when I really realized my interest has changed.
Right,
And it's not that I locked myself up in a closet or started pounding the
right,
scriptures into my head. My interest simply changed because my focus changed to Christ rather than the world.
It's amazing what God does in our lives and the journey he takes us through.
Indeed.
So how did you meet Colleen? How
My
did that
beautiful
happen?
sugarcane wife. I met her actually in high school.
In high school?
Yes,
Wow.
indeed, in high school.
So your high school sweethearts?
Yes, you can say that. Yes and no. I met her in high school. As a matter of fact, I was dating one of her friends. And I met her. We were going. Her and her girlfriends were going shopping.
Right.
and I was dating one of her friends at the time, not knowing who she was.
Right.
I slowly just started speaking with her,
Right.
and we became friends. And not too long after, within about 4 years, we were engaged. It was just a smooth flow of just love, and I thank God that I have her today.
Very good. Well, you know, the book is well written, 7 Love Keys to a Successful Marriage. As you and I know, relationships are one of the most challenging things that we human beings have to do. Whether it's relationship with our spouse, relationship with our children, relationship even with God. It's challenging.
Very challenging.
And so we find that one of the greatest challenge that we have to navigate our way through is relationships. And we're gonna follow up on that and talk more about the principles for a lasting relationship right after this break. Awesome. There's this myth that says that a successful marriage means that there are no challenges. You know, we used to have a saying back in the islands, teeth and tongue must meet. Is that what a successful marriage looks like?
Preferably not. If it was that, then it wouldn't be called a myth.
TV programs, convocations, conventions, graduations, YouTube commercials. Pinewood Films is a locally owned production company based in Toronto, and we're here to help you capture your event on video. It could be a Saturday or Sunday morning church service, a banquet, a business function, birthday party, even that special wedding day. Absolutely no project is too small or too large. We record and edit all of our footage professionally with high-quality HD and 4K cameras that can be used for TV broadcasting or just home viewing. The choice is all up to you. So, what are you waiting for? Call us right now at 647-933-8068, and there's no obligation. Let's talk about your ideas for your next event or project. The number is on the screen. We're waiting for your call.
Your wedding day will be one of the most important days in your life, and we want to make sure that you never forget it. Hello and welcome to Runway Weddings. At Runway Weddings, creating is our passion, and we would love to capture your unique day so you can look back years from now and enjoy it all over again. We are proud of our team of photographers and cinematographers, all of whom have the expertise to create high-energy still and motion pictures that tell a story from beginning to end, based on the love story that has been created by the two of you. With our superior collection of cinematic 4K cameras, movie quality sound, and visual equipment, we are ready to capture your wedding day from every angle to create an artistic blend of photographic, cinematic, and documentary style film that reflects the intimacy of your special day. For more information or to obtain a quote for your big day, call right now 647-933-8068 or go to the website www.runwayweddings.ca and we will schedule a free consultation. We take the time to get to know you so that we can create an experience of photography and cinematography that you will never forget. Call us now.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. My guest is Bishop Shawn Howard, and we've been talking about the book that is co-authored between him and his wife, Colleen Howard, 7 Love Keys to a Successful Marriage, Principles for a Lasting Marriage. Now, how would you define marriage?
Marriage is a lasting, binding relationship between a man and a woman. I believe it's a relationship that brings commitment, help, and insight for each individual between a man and a woman to have a long-lasting relationship. I believe that's the definition of marriage.
So as we navigate our way through marriage, what are some of the challenges that we face in marriage? Because one of the things that I've become acutely aware of is that male and female are so different.
Oh, yes, indeed.
We are different not just in the way we communicate, not just in the way we look at life, but just life in general. We're different by design. That's one of the challenges we face. As you wrote this book, what were some of the challenges that you had to look at when it comes to marriage as a man and a woman try to navigate their way through that relationship?
We were very intentional in our creative designing of the book, especially our writing design. You'll find that throughout in the book, while you're reading the book, you could sort of figure out who's speaking between the two, whether it's my wife, Pastor Colleen, or myself. And we try to give both perspectives as a male and a female on our insights or our forms of communication, how a man thinks compared to how a woman thinks. And we combine the two to come up with a creative method to make sure that the marriage is lasting.
There's this myth that says that a successful marriage means that there are no challenges. You know, we used to have a saying back in the islands, teeth and tongue must meet. Is that what a successful marriage looks like?
Preferably not. If it was that, then it wouldn't be called a myth. I would say if a successful marriage has a melange, a mixture of emotions, feelings, arguments, challenges, difficulties, a period of not talking, a period of talking, a period of lovemaking. It's a melange of different contexts and circumstances, and it's continual. For right now, we've been married for 17 years. And if I don't have an argument with my wife within a month, something is definitely wrong in the marriage. So I believe these challenges force us to love one another, to empower one another, to communicate better, and to have a good lasting marriage. I'm not saying there's only 7 love keys to a successful marriage. I believe there are many more love keys than the 7. But these are 7 love keys that we believe truly have been a test of time and has been a great beneficiary for our relationship or benefit for our relationship.
You also talk about friendship as one of the love keys. Does that mean that if my wife and I did not develop some kind of friendship prior to getting married, does that mean that the relationship won't last?
Not at all. I believe friendship is important. My wife is my best friend.
Good. Good.
And I'm sure I'm her best friend.
Good.
And I really value that relationship. It's not to say that my other friends won't tell me the truth. But the person I sleep beside, which is my wife. The woman I make love to, which is my wife. The woman I communicate, which is my wife, is my best friend. And I will get the honest, most pure-hearted answer from her. And she feels what I feel. If I'm in pain, she's in pain. If I'm worried, she's worried. If I love hard, she loves hard. And it's always good to know that she is my best friend. So because of that, I value that relationship, and our friendship goes a long way. You see, sir, the thing with friendship is that we're all in one ship together. It could be a love ship, a relationship. We're all in this ship together. And knowing that my wife is on this journey with me till death do us part is the best friendship I could ever have.
Good. One of the things you unpack in the book is love, and we're going to talk more about that when we come back from the break, because there's this misconception where love is concerned in our culture. I mean, in our culture, one of the things that our young people love to think that love is all about feeling. Love is a feeling you feel when you feel the feeling you never felt before. And so there's this misconception about love, and so I'd like for you to address that when we come back from our break.
Awesome. We choose to love one another through thick and thin. That's why I choose not to cheat on my wife. That's why I choose not to mistreat my wife, because I choose to love her. Love is a choice.
Your wedding day will be one of the most important days in your life, and we want to make sure that you never forget it. Hello and welcome to Runway Weddings. At Runway Weddings, creating is our passion, and we would love to capture your unique day so you can look back years from now and enjoy it all over again. We are proud of our team of photographers and cinematographers, all of whom have the expertise to create high-energy still and motion pictures that tell a story from beginning to end, based on the love story that has been created by the two of you. With our superior collection of cinematic 4K cameras, movie quality sound, and visual equipment. We are ready to capture your wedding day from every angle to create an artistic blend of photographic, cinematic, and documentary style film that reflects the intimacy of your special day. For more information or to obtain a quote for your big day, call right now 647-933-8068 or go to the website www.runwayweddings.ca and we will schedule a free consultation. We take the time to get to know you so that we can create an experience of photography and cinematography that you will never forget. Call us now.
Welcome back to Let's Talk, and my guest is Bishop Shawn Howard. And if you missed the past segment, you've missed something really good because we're talking about something rather exciting. We're talking about marriage, we're talking about relationships. We're all part of relationships. But just before the break, we were looking at the word love. That word is something that is so misunderstood in our culture, as we mentioned before. What's your definition of love?
Love. Love is definitely a popular word.
Right.
And there's many definitions of love. Throughout the book, we speak about different characteristics or different explanations of love.
Right.
And it breaks down love, I believe, in 3 or 4 different formats. Love between friends,
right.
Love between like a family members,
right.
and so forth. But the definition of love between a man and a woman is intentional.
Right.
I choose to love my wife.
Right.
She chooses to love me. The direction of my love is focused on the individual, which is my wife. And her love is intentional and directed to me. I choose to love her regardless of how I feel or what she does to me.
Right.
And that's a driving force for me to love her even more.
Right.
So that is my definition of love, an intentional commitment dedicated to making sure one is okay.
So you've heard the popular saying that love is a feeling. So what you're saying is that love is more than a feeling. It is predicated on a choice.
Yes.
So almost as if love is a decision.
Yes,
It's more than just that feeling. Not that there won't be some kind of feeling, but it goes beyond the feeling. So it's more of a choice you've made to love that woman, Colleen Howard. Okay.
Indeed, because love is definitely also a mix with your feelings as well.
Right.
But your feelings could often fool you. How many times have you fell in love with a woman in high school, sir?
Sure, that's true.
Or we find growing up that we may see a woman that we like and we say, oh, we love her because you want something so badly. But when you truly love someone, it's a form of maturity. It's a form of growth. It's a decision. It's a choice to do that thing regardless of how I feel. For instance, if my wife were upset with me and we are angry and fighting, do I not love her still? I still love her, but I have an emotion now that's expressing a different form of love or a different demonstration of love, but I truly still love her. And if we are intentional about our wives and our relationship when it pertaining to marriage, we choose to love one another through thick and thin. That's why I choose not to cheat on my wife. That's why I choose not to mistreat my wife, because I choose to love her. Love is a choice.
Very good. Now, in the book, you talk a lot about intimacy, and you said in the book, intimacy is probably one of the most misunderstood concepts in relationship. There's a lot of people who think that intimacy is just about the sex act itself.
Indeed.
And men view intimacy a little bit different from women, in the sense that if you're not careful, because we men go by what we see, and because we men are wired differently, sometimes intimacy is just seen as that act. Explore the word intimacy. Tell us a little bit more about intimacy.
The way we define intimacy in our book is literally into me. See.
Okay.
And we look at intimacy, when you hear the word intimacy, we often think of the sexual act. But intimacy, what do you see in me that is valuable? What do you see in me that you want to hold on to, the things that you love? And if I'm intentional about intimacy, I will not just look at my wife as a physical attraction, but I'll look at her as an intelligent woman. a smart woman, a great mother, a great lover, a great friend. I'm looking deeper into her so I could appreciate the value she brings to this relationship, and likewise with her. And that's what makes the physical act of sexual intercourse so great, because we're seeing into each other. We both know and that the sexual part of intimacy is just not the feeling of having a great time. It's our souls intertwining, our spirits are connecting at this time. I believe there's a transfer of love, there's a transfer of spirit, and this is why we have to watch the word intimacy or when it's related to sex and seeing into one another. If I am sleeping with a woman that is not my wife, and I don't know what kind of spirit is being transferred into me. I'm seeing into her at a deeper level. And this is why intimacy is so dangerous and misunderstood. So I choose to love my wife is the way she chooses to love me, but she sees deeper than the surface or the physical attraction.
More with Bishop Howard when we come back.
So I would suggest for any young man or woman that is interested in getting married or about to get married, glean from couples of all types, different ethnic backgrounds, different cultures, to understand the concept of their marriage, why they choose to stay together, why they love one another, and understand some of the challenges that we may face.
Your wedding day will be one of the most important days in your life, and we want to make sure that you never forget it. Hello and welcome to Runway Weddings. At Runway Weddings, creating is our passion, and we would love to capture your unique day so you can look back years from now and enjoy it all over again. We are proud of our team of photographers and cinematographers, all of whom have the expertise to create high-energy still and motion pictures that tell a story from beginning to end, based on the love story that has been created by the two of you. With our superior collection of cinematic 4K cameras, movie quality sound, and visual equipment, we are ready to capture your wedding day from every angle to create an artistic blend of photographic, cinematic, and documentary style film that reflects the intimacy of your special day. For more information or to obtain a quote for your big day, call right now 647-933-8068 or go to the website www.runwayweddings.ca and we will schedule a free consultation. We take the time to get to know you so that we can create an experience of photography and cinematography that you will never forget. Call us now.
TV programs, convocations, conventions, graduations, YouTube commercials. Pinewood Films is a locally owned production company based in Toronto, and we're here to help you capture your event on video. It could be a Saturday or Sunday morning church service, a banquet, a business function, birthday party, even that special wedding day. Absolutely no project is too small or too large. We record and edit all of our footage professionally with high-quality HD and 4K cameras that can be used for TV broadcasting or just home viewing. The choice is all up to you. So, what are you waiting for? Call us right now at 647-933-8068, and there's no obligation. Let's talk about your ideas for your next event or project. The number is on the screen. We're waiting for your call.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. My guest is Bishop Shawn Howard, and we've been talking about his book that is co-authored with his wife, 7 Love Keys to a Successful Marriage. And we've been having some stimulating conversation because, as we mentioned at the top of the show, relationships is something that we're all involved with, whether you're married, you're single, or whatever the case is. How do we speak to those folks who are thinking of getting married and sometimes are scared to get married because as they look at the landscape of marriage, marriage just seems to be falling apart. Studies shows the stat shows us that about 50% of first marriage will end in divorce, and 70% of second marriage will end in divorce. So you have young folks or young adults who are thinking about marriage, but they're scared. What hope do we give them? What do we say to them about marriage?
That's an excellent question, Bishop. A lot of times we face challenges in marriage, but we often form our relationships or our marriages according to what we see on TV.
Right.
And Hollywood is definitely not a good example.
And you
of
can't
marriage.
fix those problems in half an hour.
Exactly.
Or an hour.
And we see a lot of TV shows, reality shows, and all kinds of stuff thinking that marriage could be fixed in, like you said, 5 minutes and half an hour. But what I would suggest is find a couple or a couple couples that you could glean from and learn from. Again, marriage is definitely challenging, and I believe we go through the natural emotions of fear, intimidation, and healthy fears of moving forward into marriage, because it's sort of something unknown, and we're not sure if it's going to work out for our good or for our worse or for worse. But in our marriage vows, we say better or for worse. And do we truly mean better, or do we truly mean for worse? And I believe we understand the content of that is we choose to get married for the better or the worse, because we understand that it's a chance that we're going to take. But deep down in our hearts, we know we're not getting married for the worse. We're getting married for the best. So I would suggest for any young man or woman that is interested in getting married or about to get married, glean from couples of all types, different ethnic backgrounds, different cultures, to understand the concept of their marriage, why they choose to stay together, why they love one another, and understand some of the challenges that we may face. I would say read as much as you can, so that your understanding or definition of marriage is what you decide to make it. It is not necessarily the definition that I said earlier, but the definition of marriage would be something that we create together. If we choose to move forward in our relationship, we're going to do everything to make it right. So speak to your pastors, speak to your leaders, speak to a counselor. Make sure you have a well-rounded insight before you move forward in marriage.
Well, Bishop Shawn Howard, that is great advice, and I'm hoping that our viewers will take that advice, and we pray that those who are struggling in their marriage will find hope for their marriage and hope in Christ. This is a great book, and so we've not been able to cover everything in this book, all the principles, but I'm sure that there are people who could benefit from this book, or viewers could benefit from this book. How could someone get a copy of this book?
We could be contacted, sir, to purchase this book off of our website, www.the-howards.com. You can purchase the book on our website. We are on iTunes, we're on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble. You can purchase this book on any one of the major websites.
Very good. Bishop Shawn Howard, it's been a pleasure having you, and I'm hoping that in the future you and Colleen will be able to come back and be with us on Let's Talk.
Thank you, Bishop.
You're welcome. Well, that's all the time we have for Let's Talk today. Thank you for joining us in our conversation. Keep talking, and we'll see you soon.